Hi everyone, this is Janet Zipper and I'm here with the beautiful Lori Hart, who is the queen of anti-aging. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. We're so excited because we started a new show today and this is so amazing. The things that we're going to talk about. We're here in her office and I'm surrounded by so much amazing equipment.
Yes, our focus is to really help you love yourself as you look in the mirror. We've talked about how it's just a conversation that is always being mentioned by everybody,
Yeah.
how their age, even 20-year-olds talk about aging, which is mind-blowing.
Right.
Because I know when we were talking earlier, when we were little girls, we couldn't wait to be older and to look older.
Right?
It's like, oh my God, did we only know?
I know, right? Be careful what you wish for.
Thank God we're both very lucky. We still look like little girls.
I
So
know, right? And we're both petite and
this is my bookend.
well, this show is so important to us because we both share a similar story. So, I want to let everyone hear your story first.
So I grew up where my parents were, the only thing they thought about was what designer you wore, how thin you were, and how much money you made. And that never felt right to me. But they also made me feel like I was unworthy and unattractive. I had buck teeth, I was fat, I felt ugly, and I was horrified at the idea of putting on a uniform to go to gym, and I thought, oh my God, I'll never have a good body. So I had such a bad body image. Why would I even want to ever get into a gym uniform? And I realized that the decisions that we made as children ended up, for me anyway, determining how I was going to live the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And we want to really stop women from suffering, and men too.
Yeah.
But it's such a beauty, and how you think about yourself and how you feel about yourself and how you project yourself and whether people are attracted to you or is really directly related to the frequency and the energy that you put out.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons why Janet and I connected so magnetized to each other is because our energy is like we live with this childlike optimism,
Right.
where everything is wonderful even when it's not, and we focus on the good things. Yes, you have to be real and know it's true, of course. We're
Right.
not saying stuff your feelings, but at a certain point you realize what's good and what's not good. And when I was younger, because I felt so ugly and I was dumpy, here I am now working in the movie industry and doing makeup for Playboy, and the Playmates made me feel even more ugly.
Wow.
So I went and had liposuction at a very young age, and I should have never done that because I ended up getting a disease that stopped my body from digesting. And that was the good news and the bad news, because it gave me a gift to help primarily women, but men too. I see there's so many people that have face and body dysmorphia, and I don't suffer from that anymore. I've done a lot of the inner work,
Yeah.
but I also done a lot of the outer work. And so my goal is to help people love themselves as they age, but without hurting themselves, because I realized that when I woke up from surgery and I touched my face, I went, oh my God, thank God I didn't touch my face. I'm going to change the way people see themselves as they age.
Yeah.
I mean, how crazy was I, at 20-something years old to do some kind of a surgery,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I realized that nobody would have talked me out of it because I didn't feel good enough and I didn't feel pretty.
yeah.
And unfortunately, beauty is skin deep.
It is very much so. And my story is that I was always the tomboy, and I was always the kid who I just didn't fit in. My sister was the honor roll student; she was the pretty one, and I went through my phases of being chunky and I was just a tomboy, and my sister was always being told how pretty she was, and I was never told. I never ever remember a time when I was told I was pretty by
haven't
any of my
either.
parents.
And my sister
At all.
was the honor student too.
Yeah, and my sister was always the thin one, the honor roll student, the skinny one, and I was always the one that was hyper and just running around. So I didn't fit in. And then, it's funny because my mom's friends too would come over and they would actually comment about me being chunky. And that tore at me that, and what really upset me too was my mom wouldn't stand up for me and say, you know what, don't talk about my daughter like that. I was always, being pinched on the cheek. Oh, you're so chunky. And it just really, it affected me internally. So I went through this phase where, I thought, well, you know what? I must be ugly. My sister's the beautiful one. No one ever tells me I'm beautiful. Then, when I became a teenager, I started thinking about my weight. And I wanted to really, was up and down, up and down. Well, unfortunately, I became anorexic. And it wasn't a good thing. I mean, I went down to probably like around 90 pounds. I wouldn't eat. I was really basically punishing myself, and I was going to show everyone, you know what, I could be pretty, I could be skinny, but I didn't realize that the damage I was doing to my body. So I went to a therapist at a young age. I was 14 years old, and that's when I became, I guess I started my journey of realizing that I had to do something on the inside, that it didn't matter what anyone thought of me. I had to, what was the most important thing was how I thought about myself and how I viewed myself. It didn't matter how anyone else looked at me. So I started doing the inner work, and yeah, I had I still had issues, and I did, go up and down in weight, but I realized that I had to begin to love myself. And that didn't happen for me until I was much later in life. And then I ended up being in an abusive relationship. And that person would tell me I was ugly all the time. And I believed them. I would look in the mirror and say, God, I'm so ugly. And he would tell me that people were staring at me because I was ugly.
Oh
So
my God,
can you
look how
imagine?
beautiful you are.
I
The
was
lies
being
we tell
told
ourselves.
I was being told I was ugly by everyone around me. And I was chunky. I was going back and forth with my weight. So when I looked in the mirror, I saw an ugly woman. I didn't see a beautiful woman.
Me too. I felt like a
Right?
misfit. I didn't
Yeah.
belong. I didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. And
Right?
I had a similar story. My sister had perfect teeth and perfect eyelashes, and she was 38, 24, 36,
Right.
and I was 38 double A and fat. And I used to joke around, I just want my stomach to be smaller than my chest. My father would say, "Oh, you don't have a chest cold. You mean it hurts where your chest is supposed to be?"
Oh my gosh.
Or keep your chin up. I mean, chins.
Right.
I was so confused. I felt like such a misfit.
Yeah, yeah, and that, that really affects your self-esteem. Parents don't realize the things that they say that are children or adults to other children. As well, like having my cheeks pinched by my mom's friends saying, "Oh, you're so chunky," and so it really does make a big difference. And I remember the first time that a man told me that I was beautiful. I had gone through my divorce. I left my abusive ex-husband. I threw myself into therapy, and I remember I threw away all my clothes. I looked so dumpy when I left him. I threw away all my clothes. I cut my hair. I bought all new clothes, and I just totally changed the way that I looked, and I changed the way that I felt, and I was going through therapy. I was walking into a grocery store, and I remember a man was walking towards me, and he goes, "Hi, beautiful." And I turned around. I actually turned around and looked behind me because I thought he was talking to somebody else. And then I looked back at him, and he goes, "Lady, I'm talking to you." I go, "Me?" I said, he goes, "You're beautiful." I go, "You crazy?" He goes, "Obviously, you don't see what I see when you look in the mirror." And at that moment, I realized, wow, I really need to work on my self-perception, self-esteem, self-worth, self-value issues. So I actually went to my therapist and said, we need to work on this. This is a big area where I have been suffering all my life. And until I learn how to love myself, and until I learn to have good self-esteem, self-worth, I will always look in the mirror and see myself as an ugly person. So it's more like you said, skin deep.
It's sad, people make a decision mostly about the frequency that you carry. Because have you ever seen somebody who's not attractive and yet they think that they're the most gorgeous thing in the world? Or you meet a guy and he's so gorgeous and he's so self-centered and he's not attractive after a while.
Right.
So it's what you project is certainly much more vital than how you look, because we could fix the stuff on the outside.
Right.
And you know what? The best way to fix anything is a smile.
Yeah.
You know, to have
right.
your eyes twinkle and your teeth, show those teeth. I mean, that's a big thing for me because I had buck teeth. Oh my God, I've had my teeth. I once heard a guy say to me, I know Lori, she's the girl who never got her adult teeth.
Wow.
So, you know, there are safe cosmetic things that you can do to
Right.
make yourselves look better if you weren't born perfect. Let's not talk about perfect, but
Right, there is no
for
such thing as
yourself, there's
perfect.
no such thing. But you know, there are enhancements that are safe. Look, the right color lipstick.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, and not only that too. You know, Lori and I were talking about this earlier. That the way that you feel, you could see that in someone's face. Like you know, when I remember when I didn't have good self-esteem, self-worth, it didn't matter how I smiled. The smile never reached my eyes. People would, you know, I would be smiling, and people would still come up to me and say, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Wait a minute, but I'm smiling." But you know, the inside, what was going on the inside, showed no matter what.
So that's the topic that seems to be very, very big in this time of life is authenticity.
Yes.
You want to be authentic with yourself. You want to connect to your own heart.
Yeah.
You want to start out every day. For me, I know you do the same thing. You start every day cutting cords and going inside and saying, oh, I'm grateful for my bed, and I'm grateful for the sky, and I'm grateful for my pillow, and I'm grateful for my work. And, you know, be happy about even the little things. I'm grateful for the air that I breathe. I'm
Right.
grateful that I can see the spot on the ceiling. Or,
Right.
you know, every little
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I went and saw a play last week. And this guy had cancer when he was a little kid, and he had one leg. And he made a comedic play about it.
Wow, that's incredible.
I have two legs.
Right.
I have two arms. You know what they say when a
Right.
woman has a baby? I don't care what he is as long as
Right.
he's healthy. 10 toes,
That's
10
very
fingers.
true.
You know?
That's absolutely
And
true.
I'm sure you've had a lot of kids. I'm sure
Right.
that was your number one priorities. Are
yeah.
they safe?
Right.
Are they healthy?
Absolutely.
And emotional health is so important.
Yeah.
Because if you struggle with not feeling good enough, it destroys your psyche.
Yes, it
It
does.
hurts your heart. It hurts the way you connect with people.
Yeah.
People make decisions, I don't know about you, but we make decisions that we don't fit in, that's based on no reality. Our reality is not necessarily the truth.
That's very true. That's very true. You know, if you don't feel good about yourself, it doesn't, you know, people don't feel good, so they run and get plastic surgery, they get Botox, they get all these dangerous procedures just because they don't feel good about themselves. But what they don't realize is that unless they do the inner work, they're going to keep doing procedure after procedure because they think, okay, well, maybe if I'll feel good if I get, you know, a butt lift or breast implants or a facelift, whatever it is. But what happens is that they never deal with what's going on the inside. So that's just external. It's never going to fix what's going on the inside. So you have to fix what's going on the inside.
Exactly.
And then that way, you know, you're when you're making a decision about doing something, it's going to come from a point where you're feeling good about yourself, where you have that good self-esteem, that self-worth and value.
Right. You know, people make decisions on doing something invasive like plastic surgery like that.
Right? At the drop
And
of
you
a
think,
hat.
oh, it's never going to happen to me. But it can.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really
yeah,
can. And you
there's-
can fix it.
Right,
You cannot
right.
fix a bad job.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Lori had a botched plastic surgery job, and so many people, it's not talked about that often or that much. I think it's kind of kept hush hush, but there are people who have gone to have plastic surgery and it's botched and there's nothing they can do about it. There's no going back.
Or worse, they die.
Right.
People are dying.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why this conversation is so important to me is people are dying, whether they're dying on a hospital table or they're dying on the inside
yeah.
because they feel so lonely because they're not connected to themselves.
Yes.
You can't, you know, they always say, we always grew up saying, you can't have anybody love you unless you love yourself. I never really understood what that
I
meant,
know.
you know?
I heard that too.
Always. But you have to connect to your heart.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't ever really, I wouldn't say never, but mostly never feel lonely.
Right.
'Cause, I have a whole party in my head. There's a whole lot of people up here. I have a whole party by myself.
I know. I have fun by myself too. I'm like, I love myself. I've learned how to finally love and accept myself. And you know what? This is the thing. I know that not everyone is going to understand me or, maybe like me. I know there's probably people out there that don't like me, but that's okay because I love me and I accept me, and that's all I need. I don't need anyone else to validate me. I don't need anyone to give me my self-worth or value because I know my value. I know my self-worth, and that's fine. I don't need to. I'm not needy to where I need someone to validate me all the time and say I'm beautiful. I know I'm beautiful, and that beauty comes from within, and I feel good about myself, and that's number one.
That's a big victory.
Yeah.
That's a very big victory.
It is. Coming from where I was, I feel whole and complete. I feel so much love for myself. And because I feel so much love for myself, I love people. I love others. I have so much love to give and so much love to share. And that's because I love myself.
And it's real love.
Yes.
Because you can't, it's love is an inside job. They
It is.
say it. You have to connect to your heart. Because you have to know, I say this is one of my little Loriisms, life is like a bumper car. You're chugging along in a bumper car and you bump into someone and that feels good. You go, ooh, I love that. I want more.
Right.
And then where we get into trouble, you bump into someone and it doesn't feel so good. Well, maybe I'll give them another chance. Maybe I was off. You know what? When we really listen to who's inside, our highest source, we know.
Yeah.
It's when we don't listen to that voice is when we get into trouble.
Yeah. Absolutely. You have to be careful of the people that you surround yourself with. Just like, growing up, I had people who said really mean things to me, and I took it to heart. I gave them the authority and the power to be the authority on me. To say
And who
that.
are they?
And who are they? And there
Right.
is no perfect person in this world. So how can you say that that person is worthless, or that person is not beautiful, or that person doesn't have value? You're not perfect. So, and you have to understand that when you give someone that much power, you give your power away. So we want to teach you how to take your power back.
And really love yourself.
Right, and really love yourself.
And love the things that you don't love. Look, I'm always going to have a stomach. When I'm 90 pounds, I still look like a Buddha, okay? I joke around and I say I'm 2 arms, 2 legs on a stomach. I'm not making fun of myself.
Right.
It's a way to laugh about something that used to torture me.
Yes.
And thank God I've gotten to a point where I have made peace with the things even that I don't like about my body.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're never going to be perfect in your own eyes.
No.
But you have to learn to accept. There was a woman who was in a beauty contest for Brazil. She didn't like a couple of dimples in her legs, so she went and had fillers.
Oh.
And they ate away her legs, and now for the rest of her life she's bedridden.
Oh my gosh.
It's so sad.
It's crazy.
And there's a woman I saw on Oprah who didn't like her butt, and they filled it with a filler, and she had some kind of flesh-eating disease, and now she has no arms and legs.
That's
Now, those are
crazy.
extreme cases,
Right.
but we've all turned on the TV and looked at the movie stars that you don't see that work anymore because they don't look like themselves. Look, I'm not saying, and we're not saying, you always want to look your best and
Right.
feel your best so you can do your best. And do what it takes on a safe, healthy level
Right.
from knowledge
Yes.
as opposed to fear. And even just because a person says doctor, we give them so much power.
Oh yeah.
But doctors don't know everything. I
Absolutely
was
not.
botched by a top doctor at a top major hospital. I said, this is not something I want to bargain. You never know.
Yeah.
How is your body going to respond to anesthesia
Right. Right.
and
right.
being put under?
Absolutely.
Or fillers, you go, oh, I'll have a little filler. The new big thing is the liquid facelift. I was looking at one of my clients' faces on Facebook. She looks like she's got 2 plums in her cheeks that you can actually
Wow.
pull out of her face. We're getting distorted youth, I don't know about you, but when we were younger, we were tortured.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
I couldn't wait to be grown up.
Yeah. Me too.
Youth, there was a lot of problems with youth. We had a lot of pain in youth.
Right.
I wouldn't trade aging to go back to
No,
being younger ever.
I don't want to be a teenager ever
Oh
again.
my God. And now the problems with the cell phones and people are constantly glued like this. Young girls and young boys are getting rid of the curvature on their neck
Yeah.
by getting tech neck.
Yeah.
Not to mention nobody talks anymore. They're always texting. So no wonder there's no community and no communication because nobody calls, nobody hugs,
Okay.
nobody touches. One of the new treatments I do is I use my fingers where I hook you up to electricity and me up to electricity. In fact, it's Lady Gaga's favorite beauty treatment because so many people never get touched.
Yes, absolutely.
In a positive way.
It's
They
so
only
true.
their only measure of being touched is where they feel sexy and they're grabbed or groped
Right.
by a man.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
we want to be loved for ourselves.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I used to say to a boyfriend who loved me because I look like a little doll, and I would say, you know, I can do Barbie, but I'm not Barbie. I think you want a Barbie doll. And you know, I know by growing up, everybody always called me Snow White. So both of us look like little dolls.
Right.
But believe me, neither one of us are dolls. Cross us both, you'll see it. We're the nicest people in the world, but cross us, maybe watch out. The Ice Queen.
You know, I want to say something too about how people touch. So, you know, Lori did that procedure on me that with the microcurrent, the touch. It was so incredible. And this is a procedure that you can have done that is not invasive, and it really does make a difference on your skin. And it's actually, you know, you could see it. She did one side of my face and then she did the other side, and I could see the difference. I was blown away. But you know, it's so important to touch each other and to hug. You know, anyone who knows me personally knows that I don't shake hands, I give hugs.
Me too.
I always say that, you know, and I'm always touching people. And it's funny to see sometimes the people's reaction because they're like, wow, you know, I didn't know you were so, you know, friendly. And, you know, but that's just because I love hugs. I think the people need to be more, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, closer to each other and to communicate, to not be afraid to open up to another human being, to, you know, be open. And when you become vulnerable and open, that's when, you know, a lot of things that maybe that wouldn't have happened will happen. It's like me being hurt before in the past. I was afraid to open up myself and be vulnerable. But I learned through my therapist that you miss out on opportunities and you miss out on amazing people in your life if you shut yourself down and you're not open and vulnerable, right?
It's so important, you know. You know, there's a new way of thinking that don't trust people until they give you a reason to trust them. And I don't know.
Right.
I refuse to be that way.
Yeah,
I'm
me
going to
too.
keep my heart open.
Yeah, me too. You know, their life. You know, I don't know anyone that is living that has not been hurt one way or another. But through that hurt, I have been hurt many times, and a lot of people don't know my story, but I've had a lot of tragedies in my life. Now, I could have shut myself down and said, never going to trust anyone, never going to do anything. I'm just going to, you know, put myself in a room and close the door. But I didn't. I said, you know, life is going to maybe throw some things at me, but I get to choose how I react to that and
That's
how I
really-
respond.
That's really the whole thing about growth.
Right?
Is you
Exactly.
get to choose how you can look at every situation. And we were talking about worrying.
Right.
That's just going to make every situation worse. You can't
Right.
really, worrying is like, it's an empty emotion because you can't do anything about it.
Right.
You know, you're going to
Exactly.
see how things, you know, you do things in the right way, for the right reason,
Yeah.
and you hope for the best.
Yeah.
And trust. You have to trust.
Yes, absolutely. So that, you know, this is why this show is important to us. So we wanted to begin with this because we want everyone to know that beauty starts from within, and what it means that you have to have that love, you know, complete love for yourself, and that you know your worth, your value, you know who you are. You can have every procedure out there, but until you feel the love, until you feel the joy about being who you are, it's never going to fulfill you at all.
And you have to respect yourself.
Yeah.
And you have to respect yourself if you want people to respect you. Because if you don't treat yourself with kindness
That's
and love,
right.
you know who the doormats are.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm nobody's doormat.
Yep.
I'll give you a million chances to hang yourself. But once that switch goes, it's over. You know, I want to see what the universe brings to me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the joy of love and life and passion, and help women specifically to live the life of their dreams
Yeah.
beyond their comfort zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because when was the last time you did something that you never did before?
Exactly. I do it every day. I try to read something new and learn something new every day, and I take myself out of my comfort zone all the time. And life is meant to be exciting, not mediocre. I choose not to live a mediocre life at all.
You have to enjoy and find. I find that the older I get, the more playful I get.
Yeah.
Because when you've done the inner work, look, I'll give you an example. When I was 115 pounds at 30 years old, I was considered chunky. At 66, I'm still the same 150 pounds. Nobody would ever call me chunky. Right. It's all perception.
Yeah.
I'm probably shorter than I was back then. I'm probably the same weight. But I see things from a different lens.
Right, right.
And I don't feel chunky. Would I like to be a couple pounds thinner? Always. We're girls. We love to look thin and beautiful. But how I think of myself is not determined by what I get on the scale or that number.
Right.
It's how I feel about myself, and what I think about myself is when I think, how many people did I touch?
Right.
And how
Absolutely.
many animals did I love? And children did I inspire?
Yeah.
And women, how many do I elevate every single day?
Absolutely.
When I show a woman a mirror and they look beautiful, and I see their face light up.
Yeah.
It's worth $1 million
It is.
to me.
You can't buy that. You can't buy that, So, we're going to be talking about different procedures that you can have that are not invasive, treatments, and different things. So, one of the things that we wanted to talk about tonight as well is that taking care of yourself is so important to wash your face. One of the first things in beauty is washing your face. So tell everyone a little bit about that, since you're the expert. But I do what she tells me.
So what I notice, and even I was sometimes a victim of this. I throw a little bit of cleanser and I put it on my hand and I add a little water and I go like this, and 2 seconds later my face is washed. The other day I just took a cleansing pad. I had no makeup on, I had no skincare on, and all I did was drive from work to home. I looked at this pad and I went, wait, I'm not wearing mascara. How come my face is black?
Right.
The environment is toxic and filthy. So you really want to wash your face, especially if you're wearing makeup, 3 times. Once to really put the cleanser in your hands, and we'll put in a cleanser that I love later. And I love it because it's a foaming cleanser, so I make washing fun. So really kind of wash your face to get off all the environmental toxins.
Right.
2, to wash off all the makeup, get all the stuff, because we're spending so much money on skincare. If your face is not clean, it's not going to get any of it.
Right.
Your skin's the largest organ in your body, absorbs everything, but only I say skincare gets in deep enough to mess with your neurotoxins and endocrine system, but not deep enough to get the active ingredients to work.
Right.
So you want to make sure that they work. And the 3rd time, to really wash your face. And what I say is process-oriented versus purpose-oriented. So, yes, we want a purpose to get clean. We wash our face to get clean. But how would it be as you wake up in the morning and you throw that water and you're just like, oh my God, or feel that shower and you go, oh my God, this feels so good, and do it as a process versus a purpose.
Right.
To really enjoy the process of having that water beat on your body. Just feel it like little massages.
Yeah.
And just relish in the pleasure of just washing your face.
Yeah. Absolutely. You know, I love washing my face. I have a ritual at nighttime, and I wash my face like Lori says 3 times, and I enjoy it. I take I take half an hour to wash my face, but I wash my face, I wash my neck, I wash my chest, and I really enjoy the process. And then I put on, my product, and I just enjoy it. And it's a time for me to kind of reflect on what happened during the day and be grateful for all the people that I met and the different things that happened. But so it's also a time for me to reflect as well. So it's so therapy. It's so therapeutic for me, and it's also a spiritual thing as well. So I'm enjoying the moment, and it doesn't. I've had women tell me this, like, I don't have time to wash my face. I can't stand to wash my face. It takes too long. Well, the thing is that if you don't wash your face, if you don't take care of your face, then what happens is all those toxins, everything that you were, around during the day, it's all left on your skin. And it causes tons of skin problems. So it's really important.
Clogs your
Take time,
pores
clog your pores, yeah. Take time to love yourself. People spend so much time watching TV. They spend so much time on their phone, but they don't want to spend time washing their face, taking care of themselves. And men too. Men need to wash their face as well. Not just for women, but for men as well.
But see, men shave, so they're
That's
used to
true.
self-care more than
true.
we are.
That's absolutely
Women,
true.
say if you look at women will do 47 things before she has to go to oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom. And she'll do
Right,
47
right.
things. And when you look at a man versus a woman and their direction to their needs, okay, a man is tired, he goes to bed and puts
Right.
his head down, and in a second he's sleeping.
Right.
A woman is tired, she'll do 47 things
Right.
before she gets to the bed. And by the time she gets to bed, she's not tired anymore because
Right.
she's woken up,
Yeah, that's very true.
right?
Yeah.
A man is hungry. He goes to the kitchen and eats. A woman will do 47 things until she gets to and then we're starving, and then we don't take care of ourselves,
Right.
and we choose bad things
Yeah,
because
absolutely
we've
true.
we've pushed ourselves out of being important.
Right. Yeah.
But when you're giving to yourself from fulfillment, then you can really give to others from fulfillment. You're not depleted.
Absolutely.
And women are notorious for being martyrs.
Right.
And then we
Yeah.
take it out on everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that one time I was on an airplane, and I don't, I've been on an airplane so many times, but it just hit me the way that this woman said it. She was telling everyone, when there's an emergency, the most important thing is to put your mask on first before you put the mask on for your children, for your loved ones that can't do it for themselves. Because if you don't put that mask on first and take care of yourself first, how are you going to take care of the other person? You're not going to be able to, because you're going to pass out. So I thought to myself, it just hit me. And how many times have you been on an airplane and you heard that? They say it over and over again, right? But for some reason, the way that this woman said it, she's stewardess, airline stewardess, and I've heard it so many times. I had that aha moment, was like, oh my God, I need to take care of myself first before I can take care of my kids, before I can take care of my family, before I can take care of anyone else.
And you're giving with a much fuller, happier heart when you're
Right.
not depleted.
Exactly.
Because you don't feel depleted. You don't feel like there's nothing left.
Right.
I always have,
Not running on fumes.
right. Think about that empty gas tank when we've run out of gas. We've all run out of
Right,
gas as
right.
women.
Yeah.
And look, it's a process. It's not perfection. We
Right,
have to
right.
learn. If you're not used to doing it at all, then do little things.
Right, absolutely. But start by loving yourself, and really think about who you want to be, and don't get caught up on what other people say that you are, or think who you are. What matters is that you think about who you are, and you tell people who you are. So that's just the most important thing, to have that self-love, self-perception, self-esteem, self-worth, and really take care of yourself. Like Lori said, wash your face. It starts with the little things like that, and doing those little things to show yourself love.
Right, because if you're constantly looking outside for love,
No.
you're always going to feel something's missing.
Yeah.
It is you.
Exactly.
The biggest piece in your life is you.
Yeah.
And every decision you make for the rest of your life for you is based on you, not them.
Yeah.
If you're constantly looking outside to fix yourself or waiting for somebody else's approval,
Right.
and who are they?
Yeah.
We give other people so much power.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And who are they?
Exactly.
Who is that famous word they?
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
You know?
I read this quote the other day. I don't know where I read it, but that somebody was asked one time, do you have a special person in your life? And the person turned around and looked to that person and said, yes, I do. I have a very special person in my life. They said, who? They said, me. I'm that special person in my life. And that's how we should treat it. We should, the greatest love that we should have is for ourselves.
That's what that song
we
was.
are, yes, we are that. We should be that special person who we adore, who we cherish, who we, treat like a queen, like a king, because that's who we are. And if we treat ourselves that way, we'll treat others that way as well.
And people will treat us that way
Right.
because Dr. Phil says we teach people how to treat us.
That's right. It sets the tone. Absolutely. So, we're going to have different topics and we're going to talk about different things. So we want to make sure that you let us know what you want us to talk about, what different treatments you're interested in. And we're also going to be showing you treatments. Lori's going to be doing some treatments on me, and she's going to teach me how to do treatments on her, so I can be her guinea pig
myself.
I can be her guinea pig, and she's going to be my guinea pig. So this is going to be a show for you, about you, and how to empower yourself, how to, really live a truly fulfilled life filled with love, anti-aging tips, because anti-aging starts from within. It's how you feel, and it's how you view yourself. So that's going to be a really important thing, right?
It's so important.
Yeah.
Beauty's an urgent conversation because how you treat yourself determines how other people treat you. If you treat
absolutely.
yourself like a doormat, people are going to treat you like a doormat. If
Absolutely
you treat
true.
yourself with respect, people would never. I know my father, he was commanded respect. People were afraid of him.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now, I don't want anybody to be afraid of
No.
me. I want people to know that I'm here with open arms
Right.
and love and my heart's open.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah.
not saying put a wall around you, be open to life and to love and to joy
Yes.
and handle. Look, we're all going to have hardships.
Absolutely
Okay?
true.
It's how you handle things.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. And, so we're going to, like I said, be discussing so many things. There are going to be a couple of different parts of the show. This is our first show, so we're excited. So we just wanted to start off with our story and why this show is important to us and discuss a little bit of tips. But, we're going to get more into the nitty-gritty of anti-aging, products and treatments and different things, right?
And we're going to also bust the myths of what you think is good
Right.
and why it's not.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and that's really passionate to me that you learn from. I'm not going to let it go so scientific. You don't need to know that. But we want you to know what's safe, what works, what's good, and what's not good for you.
Yes, absolutely.
And not only the immediate short-term results, the long-term dangers of
Right.
some of these procedures, how they affect the healing and the health of the rest of your life.
Yes, absolutely. And one thing that I admire about Lori is that every treatment that she does on another person, she does it on herself first. So she knows exactly how it's going to affect, the face and everything. So that's wonderful.
Right. So I'm the guinea pig. None of my clients or friends are ever my guinea pigs unless they want to be. I have a
Right.
couple people that love being guinea pigs. So if I try something, then they go, oh no, if you're trying it, I want to try it. And they don't care. Because if I'm trying it, they know I've looked at all the risks and that
Right.
there's no danger or harm.
Yes.
So they know that I've already done the research. So I have a couple addicts like me. And Janet trusts me, so she'll let me do whatever she wants. But I'll never put you at risk.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, Lori has this line of makeup. It's all mineral based. It's natural and different colors. So we're going to talk about makeup as well and the things that are in makeup that are also harmful to you as well, because a lot of people don't know. They just pick up something off the shelf and they use it. They don't realize the ingredients are harmful. So we're going to touch on so many different things, and we're excited about the show because this is going to be a learning process for everyone, and even us. We want you to reach out and, tell us what you're interested in, maybe questions you have about a product. Maybe you want to have us discuss a treatment, or maybe, want us to discuss maybe something about self-esteem, self-worth, whatever it is. Please put your questions in the comments of this video below and watch the next show, because we're going to be taking questions and we're going to be answering your questions. So in order for you to see your questions answered and hear them answered, and also your topics, you got to watch the next episode.
And we're here for you.
Yes.
The show
absolutely.
is from us to you. We want you to really feel your happiest and your most beautiful. Because when you're, there was this workshop that I took years ago, and the bottom line was the key to the highest frequency was for you to feel good. Yeah. And what do you do to feel good? If you're not feeling good, do something that makes you feel good.
Right.
If you do something that makes you feel good, it takes you to a higher frequency.
Absolutely.
And you can change your state.
Right.
Every self-help guru says change your state.
Yeah.
For me, it's music or
right.
dancing.
Yes.
Move your body.
Yeah.
I just started swimming again.
Yeah.
Do something to get in your body to feel
Yeah.
alive.
Yes.
Go outside without a coat on for a second.
Yeah.
And feel that brisk air. We
Yeah.
just changed seasons. Feel how wonderful life is.
Absolutely true. I always say that you can't be dancing and be sad at the same time. So one of the ways that I always start my day is with dancing, with music. And it just sets the tone for my day. And one of my favorite songs is Happy by Pharrell Williams.
I love that
to that song. Yeah, right?
I love that song.
I put that song on every morning, and everyone who is close to me knows me. They always know that, that's Jan's song. And, you can't listen to that song and not put a smile on your face and smile. And then you start dancing or moving, and it even elevates your energy even more. So, there's simple little ways that you can, change and shift the way that you think. So, and the way you feel.
And don't ever, ever let somebody else take away your good mood.
That's right.
You know?
Absolutely.
You be the sunshine of your heart and your life.
Absolutely.
Don't ever give somebody your power away to change your mood.
No. I don't take things personally.
A lot of people try to do that. I'm sure they do.
Oh, yeah. I've been told you're just way too happy. There's something wrong with you. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with me at all. You're just not used to having someone so happy around you. But, I don't take things personal when people say things to me. I would say, you know what? Maybe they just don't understand me. They don't get me. But that's okay, because I was not put on this earth to be a people pleaser and to please everyone. I was put on this earth to be me, to shine as me, to be my unique self. There's no one like me. No one else has my fingerprints at all.
Or mine.
Or hers. So we are a one-of-kind, unique, amazing, awesome human being. So just be you. All right?
Just be you.
Just be you. Well, everyone, thank you for watching, and we're so excited, and we can't wait to hear from you. So stay tuned for our next episode. Have a wonderful night, and love yourself.
Yes, have a wonderful night, and be true to you. Listen to that little voice. Listen to the little voices saying good things. Don't listen to the bad things.
Right, exactly. So stay tuned for our next episode, and we hope that you have a wonderful night or day, depending on where you're watching. And thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to hearing your comments, your questions, and the show is for you. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.